What it is, guys, it's your old boy Pilg, and it's been a while since we talked about kind of like a 101 level, let's say, of DanMachi. Now, I know a lot of people are starting to get into this game, and I've getting a lot of questions about this, especially on stream night. So I think it's worth talking about a few things that are really integral to successful gameplay. Number one, we talked about last time, basically running through the quest campaign, or say the quest storylines, okay? You get 4 main storylines. You get Bell's story, that's the main story from the anime. I say the anime, both, technically all 4 of them are for the anime, but this is the main one from the actual DanMachi original anime, the one that's getting a sequel right now. Eyes, Leafia, and I think just Eyes and Leafia. I think Ryu's is kind of a little separate thing. Eyes and Leafia I know specifically are from the Sword Notorious sideline. It's basically like a separate story that follows the story from the main anime, but it's from the perspective of Loki Familia, so it's a little bit different. But let's stick today, well, we'll talk about all of that in just very vague detail, because I could get way too in-depth with it, and it's something that, while important, you kind of don't need to know when you're first starting out. So, we're going to start off with the Bell story here, okay? I told you last time you need to start doing the Bell story. If you've been doing that, then you're probably way beyond the level that we're talking about now, but we're going to talk about it anyway. So, I believe it's episode 15. I think that's the one where you unlock it. Once you clear episode 15 of the Bell storyline, you unlock a whole slew of things. And someone might correct me. I'm pretty sure it's episode 15. If I'm wrong, definitely correct me in the comments section down below. But you finally open up the blacksmith, you open up the arena, you open up, I think, the shop, and the Familia open up too with that. You open up a whole bunch of new things, but you also open up the events up here. And this is probably going to be where you're going to spend the majority of your gameplay time. Events are incredibly important, so you want to pay big attention to these types of things. So right now we've got technically 2 events going, but both of them are on the verge of ending. Basically, these events are just a continuation of the storyline. They could be like what we have right here is like a prequel to the main story. We've had other things before, things that continue on the story. You know, seasonal side stories that really kind of don't add a whole lot of depth to the game, but they're just kind of, you know, like your seasonal Halloween, Christmas, / winter, New Year's, things like that. But then they have stuff like this, which this story is like a legitimate prequel. Like, there are things happening right now in this story that have never been animated, have never been published before. And this is one of the things that I truly love about this game, is this game gets a level of support that I've never seen in a gacha, where the original creator of the light novels / manga / anime is actually taking old manuscripts and sometimes even writing one-off material to add depth to this story. So this is something that what we have right now is a story we have never heard before. That's never even been hinted. It was a manuscript that never came completely to fruition, but it's a really fantastic story. I will be doing a story overview later on this week regarding that, so if you're interested in how that works out, definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel. But these events, they're always different, and we get them all the time. So these 2 events are very, very similar, and what's really great about these events, if I go in here, I think I should have one available, go into the actual event itself, you have 2 things. You have the exchange. Exchange is where you can come in here, and yes, I know, I need to get my hero Falna, and I need to get my hero medals and flame amulets. I've been using this to farm Falna. And we'll talk about Falna and all that. Well, I guess we should talk about it now, since you're probably curious how to upgrade characters. We'll talk about character upgrades here in a separate video that I'll probably release in a couple of days. I'll release it here shortly, maybe even today. I'm not really certain. But in the exchange, you can actually get, see, I can get all this Falna. I can, rather than having to run the Falna quests, I can just go in here and get a bunch of it. It'll even tell you how much I have. So, like, I've got 113 of that. I don't really need any of that. But if I go down here to blue, I'm pretty sure I'm low. And now I got 130 blues. So, yeah, I'm full on this Falna. What about yellow? No, I've got a ton of it. So that's good news. But then, you know, you have like, these are 2-star tickets. And as you know, 2-star tickets could, or may or may not know, 2-star tickets, which I need to farm up the last 3 of these, they can actually turn into 4 stars. So, or 3 stars. But really, I'll be real, the only thing you really care about are 4 stars. So you see there's a ton of stuff in here. These notes are like your books and your dungeon sandwiches and flowers and things like that. There's stuff to give to specific characters to upgrade their CP levels. If you don't know what CP levels are, that's fine. I've talked about it quite a few times, but I'll include it in the 101 here in just a little bit when we talk about upgrading characters. All right. Familia Stones, that's probably something that's not quite too important yet. Event unit tickets I've talked about in passing, but we'll talk about that. But basically know that this is where you come get really amazing swag, and it's literally just for playing the event. Then you've got the gacha. So I know it's a gacha game, but within the gacha game, this is the event only gacha. So you've got, basically for playing it, you get these little tokens, and you're able to go in here and do summons for various things, like those notes that I need for my units. Those are what upgrade their CP levels. And again, if you're not familiar with what CP levels are, we'll talk about that. Dungeon sandwiches, books, knowledge, single flowers, things like we just talked about. Exilia books to upgrade your characters, more fauna. Really great stuff. So you just go in here, do a draw 10, and see what we get. Let's see here. Okay, I got a book, I got a ton of fauna, I got some medium fauna, which actually I need, and a rose. So, it's basically rewarding you for playing the game. Now, I could get hero fauna. I am so full on hero fauna, I actually need all the other stuff first, so I'm not going to lose sleep on it. The first 15 rounds of each one of these will actually give you, usually gives you 1 3-star ticket. They're doing a special thing right now, which I'll talk about in the video that's actually coming out here probably later on today. Right now you can get hero fauna, which again is another thing that you need for upgrading units. But there's no limit to that. Once you basically go beyond the 3-star ticket level, then you're just getting hero fauna. And then once you get one, you just hit reset and it'll go back in. So the event is extremely important. It's something you definitely want to be paying close attention to, because that is where the majority of your rewards are coming from. There are events that switch out every time, and they're what really keep this game fresh. So, getting to Bell level, or episode 15, is extremely important. Now, you'll notice that you probably have Bell here on your main page, and I've got Leafia. Once you get to Bell episode 15, you're going to unlock the Eyes, Leafia, and Ryu story events. My recommendation for now is don't mess with these story events too much. I like to keep them fairly fresh. As you can see, I haven't farmed them up. And we'll talk about them in a separate video. They have their own little nuance, their own thing that's going on. Just know, basically, to unlock them on the main page, what you have to do is go in and just play the first part of episode 1. I don't even think you have to clear episode 1. I think you've just got to play the first campaign of the episode on each Eyes, and down here in Leafia's story. Play the first episode, or the first campaign of the first episode, and that's it for now. We'll talk about them later, but that will unlock them, and that actually is really, really, really important, once again, for CP levels. I keep harping on CP levels, but you'll get here up at the top, there's like a little, like a reset button right above Leafia's head. If I click on that, it'll roll back in. Now I have Bell. So it's just the different characters that you can upgrade, but these are... It seems innocuous now, it seems pointless. I'll explain in the CP level video why it's important, but it's something you absolutely need to do, okay? Now, we need to talk about Arena, because Arena is the most important free-to-play aspect of this game. So let's go back out here to the main page. You'll see down here you have Gacha, Shop, Arena, and Familia. Arena is probably, if not the most important thing, maybe second only to the events. Okay? There's 3 things in here. There's Monsterphilia, Record Buster, and Wargames. Monsterphilia is a constant. There's a ton of Irish you can get for there. It's low stamina cost, but it is hard as hell. Very hard. You really need really amazing units to do it. We'll talk about that later on. That is definitely not a one-on-one video. That's probably like 2-3 months into the game before you even start messing with that. You can maybe beat Gate 1 or 2 first time you get a really boss team. But you've got to get into, like, you know, real good team building before we get in there. And we'll talk about that later on. Right now, we want to get just basically these early level starting gameplay going. Now, Record Buster and Wargames. Wargames, what's running right now, Wargames is the closest thing we've got to PvP. With Wargames, you get 10-run tickets, and then they pretty much respawn every 30 minutes. So about every 5 hours, you can run 10 runs. The reason I say this is important is because when we go in here, and as you rank up in the game, you're going to get more Iris. Okay, Iris is the currency we use for summoning. Now, you may only be down here in, like, Braver 3, Perseus 1, or something like that first few times you play it. And that's absolutely fine. No one is expecting you to be, you know, Hero 1 right off the bat. In fact, no one makes Hero 1. It's just impossible. Only the super ultra mega whales that have more time than money on their hands they're the only ones that do it. So, basically what you do for Wargames, let's go in here and actually burn a ticket real quick. I'm going to click Join Wargames, and you build the absolute best team you can, which this is honestly not my best team, but they're what I'm running right now because they charge through pretty fast. Okay, you could do an auto equip down here. And I just always go with default status because it gives my units the best of everything they got. So it actually did upgrade him. Why the hell did it give him the Behemoth Sword? He doesn't need the Behemoth Sword. Alright, I'll have to go fix that. We'll talk about weapons. We'll talk about weapons when we do the character upgrade video. Okay? Wargames. We're going to jump in. Okay? Combo's not that important for Wargames, so I wouldn't worry about that. That's a brand new feature, and I've covered that before, but just don't worry about it right now. Just know that the auto-equip for the weapons and armor is crucially important, okay? So basically, this is going to autoplay. Like, there's nothing I can do to interface with this at all. This is solely about how good a team you can build, and basically who's built the better team. It auto runs for everybody. There's nothing you can do. So the goal here is to build the best team humanly possible. Okay, I was victorious there, and that's not to be surprised this low with as decent a team as I've built. Okay, so let's do this one more time. Go into Wargames. Remember, auto equip. Auto equip is going to be your friend. Once again, we'll talk about that in a later video, but I just want you to get the gist of what to do right now, and then we'll talk about specifics later on, okay? Wargames runs about every other week, give or take, sometimes with slight variation. But like I said, Wargames pays out like mad. Within probably, I'd say if you're... Ooh, look at that. My team's getting taken apart. There we go. That was a pretty beefy team, I gotta say. They are Wargames this time is no joke. Yeah, where was I going with that? So Wargames pays out pretty awesome. If I go up here to rewards, my goal is King 1. That's where I'm trying to get to. That's 700 Iris and 3 Ascension Falna. 700 Iris is just a hair shy of 2 multi-summons every other week. So it's like roughly about a multi-summon a week. Record Buster is similar but not. Record Buster is the one you want to do manually. You don't want to auto-run Record Buster. Record Buster is solely about producing the most amount of damage you possibly can in one go. And I got 12 mil last time, but that's far from the best I've ever done. My rank is pretty low in this one because I kind of may have not run it as seriously as I should have. Record Buster runs the opposite weeks of Wargames usually. Okay, Record Buster is not PvP. Record Buster is you're basically versus a completely impervious NPC. Okay, that NPC will kill you. There's no way about it. Your goal is to do as much damage and last as long as possible. Typically speaking, if you are getting to the end and you're actually lasting the full 15 rounds, you probably need to try it at a higher difficulty. I do difficulty 4. We're about to get difficulty 6. We've never had that before. That should be the next Record Buster next week, and that is going to be off the damn chain. But score reward. This is why I say run it. No, I'm sorry, not score reward. Rank reward? Yeah, rank reward. So typically I'm trying to get into the top 1,000, but 1,000 to 5,000, which is really easy to accomplish. I think my first Record Buster I was still in the top 10,000. Top 10,000. So I get 500 Iris every time this runs. Combine that with the 700 Iris I'm getting before, I'm getting 3 multi-summons every 2 weeks. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty spectacular. If you hold on to that Iris, it will last you a long time, and you can farm insane amounts of Iris. I think my last farm last week, I was lazy, and I only farmed about 4,000 Iris in a week. Only. So, there is a lot you could do free to play in this game. Number one reason I absolutely love this game. So, that's why I say Arena is so absolutely important. It's not something you want to sleep on. So, just to summarize, okay? Make sure you're doing the Bell story. Make sure you get to minimum episode 15 and clear that. You don't have to ask clear it, just do the best you can. And keep running through the story, obviously, because as the further on you go, the more rewards you get. And when you can finally beat episode 29 on very hard, you'll get a 4-star ticket. In fact, you'll probably get a few 4-star tickets by that point, if I'm honest. But episode 15 is the most important one, because it unlocks events. It unlocks Dispatch, which we'll talk about a little bit separately. I don't think Boost is on. I don't remember if Boost is unlocked at that point or not, but yeah. Boost is really important too, because as you can see, this is where you get your books for upgrading, your Fauna for upgrading. It's really, really important, and we'll talk about all that in the character video. And it unlocks the Arena, Blacksmith, which is its own video. I believe Guild and Interact are already unlocked, but I don't remember specifically. But Arena and events are your next biggest goal, okay? That is where you're going to farm up your RS. That's where you're going to farm up everything you need. And these two, event and Arena, critically important, and it's where you're going to spend the most time playing the game, even more so than the actual story event. In fact, you're probably going to leave a lot of the story event unfarmed, so you have extra Fauna or Iris to farm as you play the game. So that's my 2 cents on the matter. It's a bit of a long explanation, a long video, but I think it's something critically important that a lot of people aren't aware of. So that's going to be kind of like part 2 to our 101 series. Get Bell to episode 15, unlock events, unlock Arena, and go ham. There's different events all the time. You will see there's something in there called Heroic Trials. I'm actually going to cover that in a video probably tomorrow, if I had to guess. Heroic Trials are important, but it's probably not something that's really important for the sake of this video. The main events are really, really, really the important ones. These are kind of something that show up every once in a while, and we'll talk about those separately. But know that the main story events, the ones they call tales, there's short tales, there's long tales, and these are actually great tales. And they're really great. Short tales give you a little bit of Iris, but they always come with like a gacha and an exchange, and they're generally pretty good. Long tales are longer stories that give you a good amount of Iris, and once again, they have the exchange and the gacha. Great tales. This is I don't remember how many Great Tales we've had, but they usually are really long story events that give you a ton of iris, a ton of rewards, and as you can see, I'm still farming up on my rewards, even from the first one, so there's a lot to do in this game if you really get down to it, but it will keep you busy, and it will keep your enjoyment level of the game really high, especially with how free-to-play friendly it is, so let me know what you guys think of this in the comments section down below. Just keep in your mind, arena and events are two of the most important things you want to do in this game, and you want to get that bell episode 15 unlocked so you can do this, because that's where, like I said, you're going to spend the vast majority of your time in the game. I'm getting repetitive. I'm going to call it there. We will talk next time about unit upgrades, and I may even do weapons before that, because weapons are really important. So, that's going to be the video, guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow the Birdman. Hit me up on Booker. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with us, because I'm going to regularly be bringing out, these 101 level videos, because I know a lot of people keep asking me on the stream, I just got in the game. What do I need to do? These are the things you guys need to be doing. So, I'll let you asses out with more DanMachi 101 next time.